Then there is the role of these other candidates, Ted Cruz, John Kasich. As being spoiler here, Montel Williams says no. Mathematically, he might not have a chance to get the nomination, but if it gets beyond the first ballot, all things change. Now, Montel, as a big Kasich supporter, to hear these guys, not all of them, but to hear these guys, well, that is tantamount to stealing from the guy who has the runaway delegate lead, Donald Trump. You say what?
I say, you kept trying to make the point, and I don't get why no one seemed to understand it. Rules are rules. You put them in place for a reason. Now, all of a sudden, you change them at the end of the game. The truth of the matter, Donald needs to have, Mr. Trump needs to have the 1287. If he doesn't get them, then, right? Yeah, if he doesn't get there, then, you know, that means it goes to an open convention. And you made a very good point that seemed to pass Lou Dobbs. Lou seemed to throw out the volley that maybe, I don't know what he meant by we wouldn't have had a civil war. So
and Lou had covered the 1860 convention, which was doubly insulting. You know,
probably did.
Well, if you want me to explain that, Montel, I will. And we're really not talking about changing the rules at the end of the game. We're talking about changing the rules at the beginning. Governor Brewer is exactly right, and I know you know this. They began with the rules meeting, and they then make a determination. What I was saying, that it seems to me, in some fairness, that those candidates who drop out of the race, leaving only Kasich, Cruz, and Trump, that should be reduced from the number for a majority, and whoever has the majority at that point on that number wins.
Never done that in any contest.
They said that when they signed on, they would support the rules. When they all signed a pledge saying they'd support the person who was the winner, they were signing on to 1237.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Montel. Yeah. Did they sign on assuming and believing that the Republican elite,
it's called an oath.
Republican National Committee would be opposing the front runner?
Doesn't matter. It's called an oath. And when you take an oath, you're supposed to stand on your oath. But let's go back to John. The bottom line is that as long as Kasich stays in, Kasich is going to do much better in California. He's going to do much better on the East Coast. And as he does much better in those places, those numbers whittle away from that 1237.
Is your thinking, Montel, in saying that all right, maybe Kasich gets some delegates, and he doesn't mathematically have a chance on first ballot to get. But is the idea to slow Donald Trump's momentum so that he is denied that 1237 and all bets off in second and third ballots?
Maybe it's, let's go to a broker convention and see what happened. The broker contested, whatever way you want to talk about it, whatever way you want to call it, that's exactly what happened. Again, you pointed it out, Neil. Abraham Lincoln was elected or nominated on the third ballot. So if it takes 3 ballots, it may go 3 ballots. At that point in time, it also opens the floor for several other people to get into the race.
But I could go back to Garfield. I go to Thomas Dewey. I could flip sides and talk about other conventions and delegate spreads and all. I guess what they can live in, if you are saying, and I understand what you're saying about rules, or all of a sudden say, one guy has to win 8 states by 50%, and of course Donald Trump is the only one who makes that. Right. Now they might want to change the rule for that. Perfectly valid reason to be suspicious. But I think the central rule...
By the way, people go. They will go absolutely back.
That I agree. No, that I agree with you. But to Montel's point, maybe to my nerdy point on this, is that 1237, 1237, 1237.
Okay, you know what? I'm an agreeable.
And by the way, he probably will get there.
I'm going to go along with you and Montel, and I'm going to say make it 1237. All right. But I will ask this, that the Republican National Committee and that the donor class of the Republican Party withdraw from the field and quit talking up an open convention, because that's precisely what they're doing. Because if they're going to be the opposition, if they're going to make the rules and they're going to run the convention, then we know one thing: they're being absolutely specious and facile in talking about rules and oaths.
Big words on the
show. By the way, and Montel wants to follow the rules. There's no other explanation for Kasich being in the race than that he is a bottom feeder and that he is trying to get to
the first candidate in that position.
No, of course not.
I'm going to take the same high road that John's taking.
Wait a minute, Montel.
Governor, but wait, you just called him a bottom feeder.
I'm saying he's a bottom. How many delegates does he have? Can he get to 1237? Because you said those are the rules.
We can discuss it in another way than calling people names. Again, you have to go to that bottom line. Let's do that. So let's just do it this way. I'm going to say that right now he doesn't have enough votes to get in the nomination on the first time, but he can on the second and third round.
Your candidate doesn't have a way to get to 1237.
Second and third round he does. Second and third round he does.
No, he doesn't.
Second and third round, he does. It's
and herein
open.
lies the frustration, right? The American voters have, because they feel like there are all these backroom deals, the crony capitalism that's happening, and senators that are doing things that are, because some lobbyist is telling them.
Yeah, but the establishment isn't all on the same page here. Some of them hate Ted Cruz as much or more than they hate Donald Trump, right?
And they'd like to see John Kasich in there. But, we are a democracy. We have a system. And to Lou's point, it would be better if establishment types kind of backed off of this a little bit. So, yes, maybe he could get to the 1237 if he doesn't.
Lou drugged you, didn't he?
Then, no, if he doesn't, I think this is a valid point. I think the 1237 is important. I agree with that. I don't agree
We've
with
acceded to it.
the party trying to destroy itself from within, though.
By the way, Montel, I want to apologize to you. I wasn't calling Kasich a name. What I should have said is he is bottom feeding with that few delegates and going into a convention that he can't possibly win in the run-up to it. He has to have a brokered convention.
But watch this. Neil, you see that? We can have a conversation and understand between I and Lou that we don't have to call people names. We can talk about the facts. And he's right. I'm going to agree with Lou. Right now, John can't win the first round. Right. But I also believe in the system that was put here for the last couple hundred years, and let's ride it out. And you're right, John. Lou, that the party should get out of it, but big money's all over the place. So you got to pick and choose where you're going to let them put their money.
You bet.
Guys, thank you all very much. I'm so
glad
this is made up. We have a lot more coming up. Foreign market reaction, what there is of it, early on to our American drama. I always love reading the English version of the papers like Le Monde and Der Spiegel, and all of a sudden their take on what's going on here. They're amused by this Trump phenomena. They're amused by everything we're doing, but they're interested. They are very, very interested. More to this.